Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here.
My God, did that withered purple skeleton just speak?
So for today's One That Got Away, of course because of the fact that it's October, I wanted to weave in some Halloween themes. And we're going to be talking about a movie that I really had such an interest in when it was in theaters, but when the YouTube community was not really saying good things about it, and also because of the fact that I had just moved into my new house, there really wasn't any time for me to actually go see this movie, and that was the film A House with a Clock in Its Walls, starring Jack Black, Cate Blanchett, and Owen Vaccaro. So I was so interested in this movie for so many different reasons. The story looked so interesting, especially considering the fact that it's based on a children's book. I liked the cast that was part of this film, especially seeing Jack Black in a character that you don't really see him in, or it's not really the stereotypical Jack Black, but you do get Jack Black's sense of humor. But I think the strongest thing that made me so interested in this film was the fact that it was directed by Eli Roth. Yeah, we're talking Hostel, we're talking Green Inferno, we're talking extremely scary, give you nightmares for months horror Eli Roth, directing a family-oriented children's horror movie. So I was so interested in this movie, and I finally got a chance to see this movie because I just had to put these thoughts to rest. And I'm going to tell you guys right away, this movie was so much better than I anticipated it to be. I had such a good time with this story. It's the story of a young boy named Lewis whose parents unfortunately passed away, and his uncle Jonathan is willing to take him in and just take care of him as a favor to his deceased sister in Detroit, Michigan. Now, one of the big things that I really was surprised by was the fact that this movie takes place in the 1950s. I think that the atmosphere really fits this story, and what Lewis finds out is that his Uncle Jonathan and Uncle Jonathan's friend Florence Zimmerman, who is played by Cate Blanchett, happen to be a warlock and a witch, and they are safeguarding this house because of a deadly secret that this house has, particularly because of a ticking of a clock that is somewhere in the walls of this house, and Jonathan is trying to find it because of the secrets that it holds. And through this, Lewis just wants to learn how to be a warlock, not just because of the fact that he thinks it's pretty cool, but also because of the fact that he's trying to make some friends, particularly one specific boy named Darby, who is played by Sonny Solchik, who I recently saw in Jonah Hill's directed film Mid-90s, and I really enjoyed him in this film too. But the reason why this movie was so much fun was just the characters. Jack Black and Cate Blanchett were without a doubt the best part of this film. You can totally tell that they are both just having such a great time with each other, playing off each other, insulting each other, laughing with each other, and just driving the story along. I really liked their performances in this movie. I know that Kyle MacLachlan is also a big role in this film, but he doesn't really show up until the very end, but his character is constantly talked about throughout the story, and he is a major driving point regardless of him actually being seen. Eli Roth really does bring the horror elements into this movie very well. It's Harry Potter, it's Matilda, it's Hocus Pocus, all wrapped up into one. You really just have a great time with it, and there even are some moments where young kids might actually get a little bit of a jump scare, but also there's a great deal of humor in this movie that really eases the tensions of the horror elements here. There also is a fantastic score by a guy named Nathan Barr, who I never had actually heard of, so I'm really looking into some of his past work. And one of the most important things that this movie really does is it gives you a very important lesson about the fact that you don't need to be someone of greatness or someone that has to know a crazy, amazing thing in order to be someone who is making good friends. You just have to be yourself. And that's one of the few things that Lewis has to learn through this adventure that he goes on with his Uncle Jonathan and Mrs. Zimmerman. If there is anything negative that I can say about this movie, I would probably say that it is Owen Vaccaro, because there were points in time where I found his acting to be a little annoying, and like there were these moments where he was just going like please, 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 and I was just really saying to myself, this is so out of character for a kid who's supposed to be playing someone that's like 9 or 10 years old, or even 11 years old, and it's just so weird that he's acting like a 5 or 6 year old. And there were just some points in time where I felt that his character was sort of forced into doing certain things or saying certain things, and it really took away a little bit of the story, but thank goodness we had Jack Black and Cate Blanchett to bounce it all back and bring us back into that really fun story that we were already enjoying. I was so surprised and had such a blast watching this movie, and I have to say, I really would recommend this film because it is a movie that I definitely want to see again, and if I can find it for maybe a discount price, like maybe $6 or $5, I would seriously consider getting this movie on DVD, especially considering the fact that those family-themed horror films like Hocus Pocus and The Nightmare Before Christmas and Frankenweenie, those are movies that I do always have a good time with, and I think that A House with a Clock in Its Walls goes right up there with all of those movies. They are so fun, and this one is fun too. I am going to be giving The House with a Clock in Its Walls a very admirable 3 stars out of 4. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave your comments in the box below, and let's discuss The House with a Clock in Its Walls, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.